Incredibles 2.
Fantastic Four. So, 14 years in the making. It was awesome when it first came out in 2000 what?
14 years from.
14 years, 2000.
Anyway, it's been long overdue, and
It's incredible!
it's here.
Oh my gosh.
How dare you? I want you to go the rest of this video without saying it was incredible.
Well, unless we're talking about the title of it, right?
Right.
Anyways.
So let's talk about it. First impressions.
First impressions, I love this movie. Now, I've had a couple of days to marinate and think about it. I still like the first one better than the sequel, because I feel like that they had a, well, we'll talk about the negative, but I just like, all in all, the second one was amazing. The fight scene were amazing, the action, the lighting in this movie, the animation is incredible. One of my favorite scenes that I love is when she was rescuing that one lady from the helicopter, and you see that the night, it was at nighttime, but you can see the depth of the color that they put in there, and the fighting, it's amazing. This movie, I really love this movie. Mm-hmm. What about you?
I really like the cinematography as well. Like, it's an animated film, so
it's crazy. Yeah.
Even more impressive. Like, even with Coco, that was so impressive, and this is just one step above that. So I was really impressed with that. So, but I'm not surprised by it.
Yeah.
It's Pixar. They know what the heck they're doing.
That's true. That's true.
So, what do you think about the story?
I like the story. I think there was a couple things that I kind of had a problem with within the story. I like the fact that this is more of the female, kind of like the female-led type of film. It was about, you know, the Elastic Girl and her daughter kind of like shining in this movie. As in the first one, it was more of Mr. Incredible and what's the boy's name? Dash. In fact, Dash had a lot of action scene in the first one. This one he had less, at least in my opinion.
It kind of bugged me out. But less of Dash, but I guess it makes sense.
But I like, you know, Violet. I think that the daughter name, you know, her. It's kind of like a coming out of age for her in this movie. She was more responsible, and I loved the role changing. The dad staying home taking care of the kids while the mom go out and do the work.
Right.
I thought that was pretty cool and pretty funny. The dynamic.
Well, let's be honest. If they had like Mr. Incredible go out, there would have been a public uprising. People like, why can't the Elastigirl have a more prominent part?
The story itself works though, even though I get what you're saying, and so but the dynamic in this movie was all about the family, and I thought that works very well too. And so the one that stole the movie from me was Jack. He is so funny in this one. The fight scene with the raccoon was one of my favorite scenes in that movie.
Yeah, for sure.
What about you?
I like that one. First impressions, loved it. I thought it was very similar to the first Incredibles. Like, the main protagonist gets pulled away to do a secret job, and there's a lot of similarities, and it kind of bugged me. Like, what, you had 14 years to come up with something different, but.
I kind of disagree with you on that. It was different. It wasn't the same.
It was different, but it was the same.
I disagree. But let me ask you a question. What did you think the fact that it starts right where it left off 14 years ago?
I didn't mind that. I didn't mind that at all.
I thought that was
because
cool.
I didn't want to miss any part of where they left off. Like 14 years later, Jack's a teenager now.
Yeah.
Dash is in college or something. Like, I didn't want to see that. I didn't care for it. So, and it's a animated film, so they did what they should have.
Yeah. So I like that aspect too. That just pick up right where we left off. And
let's talk about the bad.
Okay. You want to go first?
I'll go first. So, all in all, this movie's great. I didn't have a problem with a lot of it, but I did find myself in the middle, where I was just kind of bored. I was like kind of sitting there. I was like, this is a kids movie per se, and there's a lot of talking going on. There's not a lot of Incredibles 2 going. It's just a lot of just dialogue between like this business partner and Elastigirl, and I was just I got kind of bored. And then it started to pick back up again, which was
so the second act didn't work for you.
Yes, second act did not work for me. A little boring.
Anything else?
I think that's it.
Okay.
For the most part.
I agreed. There were parts in the second act that was kind of weak that I found. I wasn't bored, but I kind of like, let's pick it up. I wanted to pick it up and move along. But
I agree.
But it happens. That's what it is. And so, okay, my gripe. I have one major problem, and I'm gonna talk about that.
Uh-oh.
And I was actually asked to talk about this on this review.
Oh shoot.
But my other two problems that I have three. The first one was the villain. Two on the nose. Picked it out who the villain was right off the bat.
Yeah.
So
that
it's
was kind of boring. I was
boring.
like, I thought there was gonna be another twist.
There's no twist. And the first one, why this is the reason why I like the first one a lot better. The villain in the first one was a surprise. I didn't know it was gonna be that same kid that followed Mr. Incredible that one day, and and it had the character in the first one, the bad guy, had more depth, more more agenda to why he wants to destroy superheroes, and so I thought the villain in the second one was weak. It was so on the nose, kind of like I figured it out. The secondly is between the relationship between the Elastic Girl and Evelyn, which is the bad guy, girl. Anyways, bad person,
Bad they or them.
There you go. And so they were trying to make it seem like they were like best friends. They were pushing it to where like, oh, we're gonna be best friends, and then turn around the betrayal didn't work.
Yeah,
because
the betrayal was kind of boring.
It was kind of like, well, we kind of see it coming, and then it was like, how could you do this? It didn't work for me. It didn't pay off. So I thought that was weak. My biggest disappointment with this film is to do with because this film is not for kids. It has a little bit of dark side to this.
Yeah, I'd like to expound on that. This movie is for the kids that were kids
14 years ago.
And now it's for the adults 14 years later.
Which is kind of disappointing because I wanted to take my little girl, my 3-year-old, to see this movie. My wife and I looked at each other like she would get scared at that one scene when she finds the
epilepsy scene.
Yeah, or some when they were fighting in that little cage and fighting us. Anyways, we've seen this a lot coming in. Pixar and Disney animation. This is supposed to be for kids, but I understand. Now I am not the kind of guy that would be like kind of like finger pointing at like, oh, you shouldn't do this and this. One of the things I didn't like is we've seen, and it's going to be happening, is that they kind of put bad words into this movie.
I noticed one.
There was a word hell and also damn. And now I have no problem with the words. In fact, hell has been used in Pixar and Disney's movie in the past. You've seen Cars, they use the word, I can't believe I'm in the hillbilly hell or something like that. That's what McQueen says. And Ratatouille says, welcome to hell. So the word hell and damn, I don't have a problem with it. The problem I have is that the way that it was used.
In context.
And the context of it. And it's kind of interesting that Pixar is is kind of like
getting a little too comfortable.
Getting comfortable, stepping on the edge of this. And I had a discussion on Facebook, and everybody is just like really, really adamant of how this is bad and Pixar shouldn't do this. My advice is for parents that want to say, you do the research. You're responsible for this, for your kids, wanting your kids to see certain movies. You have to be the judge of that because they're just kids. They can't they don't know it. Excuse me, they don't know any better. So, and my advice is parents research before you take your kids to see certain movies. Even in Pixar, which is kind of sad that it is supposed to be for kids, and yet they have this word in there. The other thing is that we've seen with Coco as well. We've talked about this in our last
on-screen death.
On-screen death. It's never been shown before. No one has told me that I'm wrong, but that's the first time that you've seen. So you kind of get the sense of now that they're kind of stepping on the edge or trying to go over the edge with these things. The PG rating, it's kind of sad. I have his wife, Kelly, and my sister-in-law, Brianna, I think they went and saw this one weird movie with the guy trapped on the boat with the girl.
Adrift.
And apparently it shows her boobies.
Boobie?
And
is it one boobie or is it two boobies?
All the boobies.
All the boobies.
And it's PG-13. So it's like the rating is just getting a little bit more to the red zone. That is very disappointing. I have no problem with words. I've watched movies that say
Spaceballs said the F word. That was PG.
But but that's a different time.
Right. That was ironic.
But this, if you're promoting this movie for kids, you shouldn't be putting bad words in there, and so that's just my gripe. I was really disappointed with that aspect of the movie, and so sorry for going off a tangent, but
No worries. Is that all?
that's all for me.
All right, but all in all, it's a good movie.
It's a great movie.
Yeah. Other than that.
Other than that, and so
Let's give it a rating.
Okay, what would you give this movie?
I'm gonna give it opening night. Not gonna mind my gripe. I'm just gonna go straight to the top. Opening night, great movie.
I still give this opening night as well. I think
Okay.
it is a fantastic movie, a fantastic sequel that I think everybody should watch.
Would you say it's incredible? Just kidding.
So next time we should have more content coming.
Yes.
Hopefully we've been slacking.
We have.
But we've been on vacation as well, so
Alright.
check out his video on his vlog.
I'll link
Pretty
that
cool.
below.
Yeah.
All right, see you guys.
Later.